It being 1 o'clock on January 6th, I'll call the meeting. This meeting is occurring over Zoom, video, phone, teleconference per the allowance under the Governor's Emergency Order number 12. That's waived the requirement of having a quorum of the board physically present for a public meeting. Roll call, Kathleen DeWolf,
Present.
Alan Silly,
Present.
Andy Fitch,
Present.
Fran Newton.
Present.
Before we get started, I've been informed that some people think that I have overstepped my authority by contacting MRI to get information from them. If you wish to censure me for doing that, we have to do that in a public venue. This is your chance to censure me.
I think you acted totally appropriately. We know that our town manager has given us his resignation. And as chair, I think it was right of you to at least start reaching out and finding out what our possibilities are. So I'm not sure what the concern is.
I agree with Fran. We can't sit like bumps on a log and expect that somehow this is going to happen without someone taking the first step. Whatever decision that has to be made, we'll be doing it as a board collectively.
Anyone else wish to comment?
I will comment as well in a phone conversation, excuse me, that you and I had, Eli. You informed me of this situation and I told you I agreed with what you did completely.
And I also am on board. I think we need to get our ducks in a row, and the quicker we do that, the quicker we'll have the position filled.
I mean, right now we're at about 30 days.
And we can't afford to wait. So, you know,
I am,
we've got a lot of work ahead of us. And, you know, as much as we're sorry to see Charlie go, we need to look at our future. So I personally thank you, Eli, for, you know, starting the inquiry.
but I wanted to make sure that people understood that I am not trying to overstep my authority at all. If I have any authority, it comes from you as the board members.
Well, I think you now know you have our full support.
Okay, moving on, approval of minutes for 1/4/2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of January 4th, 2021 as presented.
I'll
Do I hear a
second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
and last but not least, Eli Badger says aye. The new business before us is the 2021 virtual town meeting. Fran, do you want to make the official statement of what the school board said last night?
I will. I did attend the meeting virtually. They actually voted 2 votes, one for the deliberative session and one for the election itself. There was a 4-to-1 vote in favor of our using the gym for the deliberative session and a 5-to-0 vote in favor of our using the gym for voting.
Okay. Did they list any restrictions?
There was concern, obviously, about safety. Mrs. Coleman told the board that she had been in contact with our moderator, who assured her that she would not allow anyone in without masks. There was discussion about what you do with those people who might show up and not want to wear a mask. You know, they discussed their own deliberative session and their own budget hearing and, you know, what they might do to accommodate those people. But Mrs. Coleman assured them that the moderator would ensure that people showed up wearing masks. And, you know, that was the concern. The one person who voted against our using it again was concerned about safety.
Okay. And I think that's all of our concerns, is that if we have an in-person meeting, that it is as safe as we possibly can have it.
That being said, how do we accommodate the people who will not wear a mask per school board direction for the virtual for the meeting? Do they have a virtual option to watch?
There should be a virtual option, absolutely.
That we will Zoom it like we Zoom our regular meetings?
Yes, but
As we're doing today?
you need to understand that those people would not have a voice or a vote
Correct.
if they're virtual. Only
Correct.
people, and that was my concern that I expressed Monday night, that only those people in the room, if we have it in person, have a vote. The people virtually do not. Whereas if we have it all virtually, everybody has a voice, not directly, but by phone call, email, mail, etc.
And the downfall to me is that at the second meeting, when we discuss the whatever questions we have gotten, is that it's just our vote that counts.
Exactly, and that's gonna, you know, obviously, if there is any kind of controversy and we end up making the decision, of course, we will be the target of that criticism, but then again, that's what we are all the time anyway.
Before we get a little further down, I did share this with Eli. This was on the WMUR news link yesterday. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck? The state is pondering putting off elections that occur in March. Let me see.
Until July.
Until July, yeah. So we could still have we could still be, before February 4th, we could still have changes from the state government and how to manage our meetings. I bookmarked this, but it's coming up with the wrong thing. I'll just give you an outline is that the Senate is pondering a bill that would put off the voting into a later date, and that everybody would elections would be put off. People who are in office now would retain their seats, and it could be as late as July. I have not gotten, there's no new link today. So just for the board to be aware that this could go nowhere, or the Senate could come out with another a bill with a modification and how we manage our town meetings.
Okay.
I think one of the issues is we have a very early SB2 meeting. Many towns with their traditional town meeting do not meet until March. They have a whole month to adjust to any other changes. We have weeks to make an adjustment.
Is there a requirement about how far in advance from the election we have to have the deliberative session, Charlie?
Yes, that's why we have it. That's why we have it the 6th.
But we had a snow date of the following Saturday, is that correct?
That's like the end date. The bill Kathleen's talking, I can send that to you guys. It's allow postponement of the vote.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I have it now. If I could quickly, I'll just read it. Towns across New Hampshire might get more flexibility in how they hold town meeting day this year because of COVID-19 pandemic. A state Senate bill would allow school districts and towns to delay the March elections until July at the latest. If the Senate passes the bipartisan bill, elected officials would keep their seats until their town or school district delay ends and election is held. The bill would relieve confusion over the legality of postponing local events. And that was posted yesterday on the WMUR site.
Is there any indication as to when the Senate will vote on that bill?
No. Said that was yesterday, and as of noontime, there hadn't been any update. And it actually, you can click the link to see as it was broadcast on Channel 9.
It's supposed to be today.
It's supposed to be today.
Yeah, the MMA, oh, excuse me, NHMA sent my managers, our managers association, an email says that bill to pass is on January 6th, and it just provides greater flexibility in postponing town meetings. So it would suspend the 72-hour limit on postponing an SB2 deliberative session. But
Yeah.
and they can't confirm it's going to happen.
Okay. Oh, Charlie, would you send that out to the rest of us?
Sure.
The link?
I'll send you the email.
Yeah.
So does this mean we need to delay a vote for another couple days till we find out if the Senate has voted? Or do we go with the assumption that we're still planning for February 6th?
Well, we don't have elections on February 6th. We have a deliberative.
No, I understand
Yeah,
that, but
so
if
it's the
elections
traditional-
aren't until July, then we could postpone the deliberative, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think that. I thought, let's get one thing maybe
One out of the way.
We'll have that taken care of, and we would have the fluidity to make a decision after that. Because like I said yesterday, we do not know what's coming down the road in the state of New Hampshire as far as COVID. And most of us won't be vaccinated until probably early to late summer,
Yeah.
at least the board as a whole.
Yeah.
Some of the older ones will be at the head of the queue.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that information.
I'm so glad to be old.
Kathleen, you were kinder than I would have been.
You young whippersnappers.
Hey, listen, this young whippersnapper wants to know if they're going to postpone the elections, how do we operate? I mean,
We
are they
remain,
postponing the budget too? The budget section of this?
Well, remember, that was part of, if we had the virtual meeting and the voters said no, they didn't agree to having the virtual meeting. That was I don't like to use the word default because that would be confusing, that we would have to then continue using last year's operating budget, and all the warrant articles would not be acted upon. So this is
Except
kind
for
of
the
almost like,
election.
so this is kind of like another hybrid type situation. And if you have a traditional town meeting, you do everything that one day. So I'm hoping that we can have our deliberative session, present everything, and then if we have to delay the vote, we would just continue to operate with last year's 2020's operating budget.
But that's not spelled out in what you're reading.
No,
Not yet.
because it hasn't been, the Senate,
Okay.
hasn't voted on it yet.
Okay.
But like Charlie said, it looks like they were gonna do it today.
so
So again, can we convene tomorrow? If we have at least that information?
I'm free tomorrow.
I'm not.
We
I
could.
I changed plans for today.
I understand that, Alan.
No, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but that's where I'm at.
No, I mean, I do understand. And I mean, all of us have schedules and
You know, we have to be cognizant, are we all gonna be healthy at the same time to participate? You know, it would, I would be, I wouldn't be comfortable if we just had a bare quorum of 3 to proceed at all of these. And I think it'd be disingenuous to think that one of us may not be exposed to COVID. And we might have not be able to participate in person. So, you know, we're between a rock and a hard place.
yeah.
There's plenty of drawbacks about the virtual meeting and there's pluses. So if we can't attend, we still would be able to participate. Yes, it would be a lot easier to go with the route that we usually do at the gym. We can hope more people than last year show up when we did not have this issue. The head count was not very high.
Like I said, I've already heard from people who've always attended that they will not
They won't
attend.
go, yeah. If I wasn't on the board, I don't think I'd go either. If I had the option of participating virtually, I would do it.
Well, obviously, I have concerns about myself attending. in
Yeah.
person.
You know, where I don't share the house with anybody, but you know, the other people do, and they have to be mindful of the people who share their household with.
Yeah.
Too.
Um,
I know this is not helpful. This is.
I
we do
ponder
have to
this.
make a- Yeah, we have to make a decision.
I ponder this. If we make a decision to go virtual at this time, can we change our minds depending upon what comes up tomorrow?
Don't see
Or
why not.
should we postpone until Friday making a decision on this? Alan, would Friday be any better of a day?
Depending what time, I could probably do it.
Okay, what time is, I don't really want to pander to you, Alan.
No,
but
no,
what
and
time are you
I don't,
available?
I am busy all week. I am working on a project.
Yeah.
I'm working.
Well, that's nice.
Well, it is, but
I'm available anytime on Friday.
Me too.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I've got going on. I don't think I've got anything going on except working here, so I can
Your
get here
installation's
anytime.
done, so you're ahead of the game, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I got a long ways to go on that project.
One thing
Okay.
crossed off the list.
Nope, not yet.
Alan, would a late afternoon work better for you?
yes.
What time?
uh 3 o'clock hour,
3 o'clock?
somewhere in
Friday?
that, at 4 or whatever. Let me make sure that I don't have anything else going on.
Okay.
Charlie, have you gotten any new information through legal or NHMA since we last discussed this?
No,
I did share my thought on this with somebody. I have a sense that Ashland may be a guinea pig in this process because our meeting is so early.
Yeah.
That we can't say, let's see what such a,
Let's
What
see how
time?
Ashland screws it up.
yeah.
or makes a success of it. Let's
That's
go
right.
for the
that, you know,
positive part.
we're either on the vanguard or, you know, the goat, so.
Okay, Alan,
I can tell you this, that a lot of other towns are sticking to their traditional meetings.
yeah,
They're not going virtual. I'll give you an example. Thornton is holding a traditional town meeting. Let's see, Chesterfield, Belmont's deliberative is in person. Haverhill is actually, looks like going virtual in Haverhill.
is it, that's Haverhill, right?
Avro,
Haverhill. Auburn's in person. Londonderry, these are just a couple managers that have responded.
Yeah.
but not all of those are SB2 towns,
But they're-
so.
Auburn's holding, excuse me, where's Naomi? Ware is doing the same. They're holding theirs in person in Hampstead so far.
Uh,
A lot of them are, I'm not seeing many folks going to deliberative, being virtual, I should say.
ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do? What, are we going to make a decision today, or shall we make the decision Friday?
Friday.
Do I have a consensus for Friday?
Works for me.
Okay, 3 o'clock, Alan, is that all right?
I'm going to assume at this time it will work.
Okay. Since I know that we've all read our town mail. We've had, apparently we need to do something about the warrant articles, Charlie, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, we are being pressured to take a vote on recommendations. Even though we have
Another week,
another week.
Well, their, the meeting is the 13th. Their meeting is the 13th.
Mhm.
Which gives us 7 days to make a recommendation. Depending upon when they meet. Is that correct?
Yes. And I believe the school board was supposed to meet at 11 today, or is it tomorrow? Maybe, correct me, it might be tomorrow that they were going to meet to decide whether or not the budget committee could have their public hearing at the gymnasium.
well, usually they have it in the cafeteria.
Yeah, but they suggested the gymnasium because they can spread out more.
That's it, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have difficulty spreading out ourselves in the gym.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. School board meets tomorrow at 11.
Yes.
And that's on their agenda to vote upon.
Okay, do we want to vote on the town warrant, our part of the town warrants today? Or
Why don't we get,
postpone that?
why don't we get a few things done? While we're all still here.
Is that all right with the rest of the board?
Fine with me.
It is,
Yep,
You want me
that's fine.
as long as we're not more than a couple of hours.
I think I can. I think
Charlie can read fast.
no, I was going to share my screen if I
Okay, that, because.
Why not?
yeah, because I have the warrant pulled up. Let me see here. Share screen. Oh, help if I hit share.
Well, let's be sunny about that.
Can you all see that?
I can see what's on my screen.
Did it not go through?
I can see
Charlie, it went through.
Yes,
Okay, so not much has changed since I've sent this last week. General overview, Article 1 is election of the officers. Of course, if we went virtual town meeting, this one would be whether or not the voters accept the format of virtual town meeting. The first articles, town budget. There's our default budget, the same thing. These are generally the operating budgets for the town, the electric, the water, the sewer. And then the first one would be the normal payment for the 1-ton loader.
I'll make a motion that we recommend article, whatever the number will be for the payment to the down,
For the loader,
yes.
I'll second that.
Charlie, has the budget committee actually finished their version of the budget
No,
and turned it over to us?
No,
Well-
they won't do it till after the budget hearing.
Which is what, the 19th?
Technically, they're trying to vote on everything on the 13th. I mean, I have the votes of everything that they voted upon on the budget.
But there's still items left, are there not?
Could they change between now and then? Sure, they could possibly change their mind on the 13th.
But this won't affect our vote to recommend these other articles.
No,
No, that's why don't we do this?
Okay,
Do we want to, oh, well, so Fran made a motion, I second it for whatever the article number will be for the fourth payment of the 5-year lease purchase. Loader.
I mean, I could name it. I could name them real quick.
that's $27,142. There is a motion on the floor and been seconded to recommend the article, whatever it is.
6, okay, 6 now.
Is it 6?
For the time being, it's 6.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
do I hear any more discussion on Article 6? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye,
Alan Silly,
Aye,
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on, what may be Article 7.
It should be Article 7. So let me, sorry to interrupt. Generally how these work when you vote on these is the big ones are up top.
Mhm.
Unless someone all of a sudden came across with a bond for $1 million, whatever number you want to say, they're not going, these aren't going to change. You know, the only thing that might change is whether or not that virtual article goes in there and it'll be off. But in the minutes, I'll make sure I put loader, et cetera,
Yes,
in the article.
so currently Article 7
Mhm.
is to raise and appropriate the sum of $125,000 to be deposited into the Road Improvement Capital Reserve Fund, established in 2012 for the purpose of repairing roads. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Kathleen DeWolf,
aye,
Alan Silly,
aye,
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. What should be Article 8 is to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000.
Nope, sorry.
20,
20.
20.
I confirmed.
$20,000.
Yeah, I confirmed with the chief. It's 20.
20.
Okay. $20,000 to be deposited into the Police Department Capital Reserve Fund established in 2013 for the purpose of repairing and purchasing police department vehicles. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton.
aye.
Number 9,
Your vote, Eli?
aye. Is to see whether the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the Fire Department Capital Reserve Fund established in 2013 for the purpose of repairing or purchasing fire department vehicles. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 9.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on. Article 10. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be deposited in the Department of Public Works Capital Reserve Fund established in 2016 for the purpose of vehicle or maintenance or equipment purchase, replacement, or repairs. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Do
I'll
I hear a
second it. I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger. Aye. Article 11. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be deposited into the Ashland Library Building Capital Reserve Fund established in 2015 for the purpose of purchasing, building, and or renovating a facility, including furnishing and equipment for the Ashland Town Library.
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 11.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Will somebody else read for a minute?
Article,
Eli Badger.
Article 12, to see if the,
Oh, okay, go for it, Fran, go for it.
okay, Article 12, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added into the Building Maintenance and Repair Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of maintaining and repairing all town buildings.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it.
Any discussion?
Is that enough? What do we have in the capital reserve at this time? Since we took this out of the individual departments' budget lines. The building maintenance.
Charlie, do you know?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Well, we already know we had an issue with the furnace at the town office. That needs some maintenance.
I think at the end of the year, let's see. Oh, I gotta move my. This year, we've spent 21,221, and that was about 10,000 on the windows and 3,900 for the oil tanks at the fire department, and 7,265 for the front door, and in total. So That would bring us with the $10,000 appropriation that we deposited in December. We'll be going into next year with estimate about 42,776.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Article 13.
Oh, we didn't vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had a
Roll call
motion,
vote.
a second, we had discussion.
Okay. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. My wife is removing the phone from my presence. Moving on to Article 13, which has no tax impact, to see if the town will vote to establish a contingency fund for the current year for unanticipated expenses that may arise, and further to raise and appropriate $25,000 to be deposited into the fund. The sum to come from the undesignated fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. Any appropriation left in the contingency fund at the end of the year will lapse to the general fund. Majority vote required.
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 13.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I'll let Andy be the Mr. Second today.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I have some comment about that.
Okay,
In the past, that's basically been used for
Legal.
legal. Yeah, right. Let's be honest, legal. I actually talked to the attorney in that case about an hour and a half ago, because I had notified him that I was leaving. And he basically said to me, well, who do I contact now that you're gone? Because that case is, there's two cases. They're called TS1 and TS2. And it's still before the Supreme Court. Because of COVID, they don't know where it's going. The arguments, basically, things have been filed before the court at the Supreme Court, and if they have oral arguments, they probably will be Zoom. But there's also a possibility where the Supreme Court could say, no, we don't worry about it. They'll just make their decision as what the attorney has submitted in paperwork. But I have no idea where the second one case is going. That is not before the Supreme Court. A little bit, if it's really with Primex, a lot of that, but I don't know what will be coming afterwards. With that being said, I recommended at the very least, until someone is here, that the council talk to the chairman of the board, and in case they need anything, he actually wanted to know where to send the bill. He usually sends it to me. I said, certainly not my home address,
Oh, come on, Charlie. Be a sport. Be a sport.
Charlie,
I gave him finance. But anyways, I did mention to Eli a little bit in advance that, I might be sending it to him. So just so everyone knows, in case, I don't know what we don't know what's going to happen here. Come on.
and that should be at the direction of the rest of the board members. But I'd like to discuss that later,
Yep.
unless it has a monetary, we're talking about the monetary issue.
When the bills come
of this
in,
article.
they have to be
So
paid.
and so to end it, I would say we had talked before about maybe taking this one out. I'd be safe and I'd leave it in. I'd recommend.
I think we should leave it in for at least one more year, and hopefully within a year, we'll have a little bit more clarity as to where this is going.
Well, and we need this for the land use boards too. This will
Yes.
come the
Correct,
land use
correct.
board.
It's not just these particular cases.
Yes,
Okay,
It's a good article. It's a good article to have. It's a
Yes.
good.
once again, no tax impact.
Yeah.
There's a discussion. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
That one's on mute.
I apologize. Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Article 14. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 for the purpose of purchasing a defibrillator for the Ashland Fire Department. This sum to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 14.
14, yeah. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Wait a minute. Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on to Article 15, which has no tax impact, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $32,000 for the purpose of purchasing and installing mobile data terminal technology for the Ashland Police Department cruisers. This sum to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation. Do I
Make
hear a
that mo-
motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger, aye. Article 15 has no tax impact. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $9,100 for the purpose of purchasing police officer body cams for the Ashland Police Department. This sum to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation.
I'll make a
Do I hear a
motion to
motion?
recommend this article.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Article 16 has no tax impact. To see if the town will vote to change the name and purpose of the existing Road and Bridge Capital Reserve Fund to the Road and Bridges Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of maintaining and repairing town roads and bridges, and further to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from said fund.
I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye.
Wait a second. You're in Article 17, change the road, CRF, right?
Yep.
I'd like, my internet went a little I'd like to provide a little bit of comment about that one to the public and how important it is. Hopefully Craig Moore's still on the call. The roads need repair, right? And
Public Works is still on.
yep. Craig? Okay. Maybe he'll jump on in a second. Anyways, we also have to maintain the bridges in town, of course. You know, town-owned bridges, and there's a difference between the town-owned bridges and the state-owned bridges. And we thought about creating a new capital reserve fund to take care of the bridges, but it would take too long to really build up enough of reserve to really pay for what needs to be done to the bridges. So that's why, impartially, why we wanted to change this. So you have a little bit more financial flexibility if something were to happen. And you're going to probably be surprised as much as I was when Craig tells you West Street Bridge is in desperate need
No,
of
Winter Street.
Winter Street. Did I say
Yes, you said
Oh.
west.
Yeah,
Oh.
Winter.
Winter? Yes. Sorry, I always get those two confused. Winter Street. I can't prove it, but a large part is what happened in years past is that septage receiving trucks use Winter Street as a sort of like a cut through in order to get down to Collins Street instead of going straight through town. And that's a lot of weight that goes over that bridge consistently. And I just think it's really been deteriorating the bridge. But anyways, Craig got a quote to repair and it's over 100,000. It's over 100,000. So Craig, maybe you could speak a little bit further. I mean, we just barely got this quote probably a week or two ago. But I just wanted to express the importance of this article.
Yeah, I mean, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes,
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, we knew there was some spalling on the bridge. That was, the state does the inspections every year for us and they give us a report. And I think all you guys have seen that before. And they always deem it as it's in pretty good condition, but you got some minor spalling, no structural. But I had Grayton look at the bridge and give me a full quote on what it needed to be fixed. And it doesn't mean that this bridge is going to collapse anytime soon. But if we don't address it, it's going to be a lot more money. And the money amount is $154,000. But in bridge terms, that's peanuts because bridge work is very, very expensive. And he said, you probably should get it done now rather than spending $500,000 3 years from now. And I'm replacing all the substructures and, like they do to the bridges and on the highways where they really strip it down to nothing. So right now it's in a state of repair that we can repair it and we can preserve it for maybe this fix will last, he said 15 to 20 years. If we do some minor, we will do the repairs that are required and maybe periodic maintenance every other year just to keep the rust at a minimum. And we can keep this bridge going for 20 years or better. Maybe 15 to 20 years is what his statement was. So it's something we need to look at. I mean, not sure where to, but 154.
I completely support this for the flexibility in the line. Oh, I'm getting feedback here.
So Craig, my question is, that bridge, if I remember correctly, is an E2 bridge, which means any truck can go over that. Should we restrict through trucking on Winter Street?
Yeah, you're right, Andy. It's an E2 bridge. Anything can go across it. I guess that would the selectmen to do that and to put a sign up, go through a truck. That could. I mean, he said most of the damage right now is caused from rust. Structurally, the bridge is pretty sound, but it's a lot of the rust, some spalling. Freezing spalling was from, and of course this on the bridge when the spalling occurs, it doesn't work. So they have methods where they can tighten everything up and ensure that it will be back to normal. And it should take the weight of the sewer trucks, because that's exactly what I expressed to him, was the more traffic down there, because people do cut across it, and he said, oh yeah, once I fixed it up, tighten this bridge right up and it'll be fine. So yeah, I mean, we could do that. I'm not sure how to proceed on the town's end to restrict that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm guilty of going across there, although never with a load on. And I have seen tractor trailers pull down through there. I think we need to think about that at another time. Charlie, can you put that on an agenda somewheres for us?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, Andy. It's definitely something that the board needs to be cognizant of going into next year. I'm looking at the road improvement. We spent probably about 193,000. Well, 193, let's call it 194,000. So going into next year, we'll probably have 247,000 in road improvement. Yes, we are asking for 125, but most of that 125 next year is going to go towards the TAP grant or the sidewalk project. So it's no need to panic. I'm not asking for any more of an appropriation. It's just that we wanted to bring it up to the public and make you aware. This is the reason why we want to change this capital reserve to include bridges, because don't forget, you also have the Squam River Bridge, which needs a little bit of repair. There is some can be a little subsidized by the Ashland Historical Society, but it would also help for that bridge too.
Okay. Anything else on changing the name? We've done 17, correct? Is that right, Charlie?
I didn't get the vote. That's the one. That 17 is the vote on the bridge, changing the capital reserve fund.
7, that was 16.
I have it as 17.
To see if the town will vote to change the name. Well,
Yeah.
let me see.
Yeah,
That's
we've
what I
already
want.
voted on that.
Okay. Was it 5? Assuming it's 5-0.
It, yeah. 16, that helps.
Oh, 18, I'll step in here for a second, Eli. This is to see if the town will amend the article passed in 2005, which created the fire department apparatus or equipment fund to allow funds in this account to be used for the purpose of paying the bill and fees associated with ambulance transports. Further, to name the Board of Selectmen as agent to expend from said fund. Okay, this one is similar to last year. If you remember, the fire chief had a new ambulance billing company, and with the billing, they send the full amount, and then they ask you for the reimbursement, the 10% payback for the transport to be to help process the billing, et cetera, et cetera. The fire chief preferred that to come out of the ambulance fund. Well, the way that the ambulance fund was written, we weren't allowed to expend from it without legislative approval. And we last year just asked if we could have it changed. Well, after the article passed, the DRA caught that it didn't say to allow the selectmen to have the authority to expend from such fund. So here we are a year later, asking the town, please give us the authority to expend from this this apparatus and equipment fund.
Okay,
Did we vote on 17?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
so this is Article,
I'll make the
18.
motion for Article 18.
do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on. To see if the town will vote to establish a trust fund to be known as the Scribner Library and Park Trust Fund, with the trustees of trust funds to be responsible for the financial administration of that trust, and for which the library trustees will be responsible for decisions on expenditures to repair and maintain the building and grounds, and further to authorize the acceptance and deposit into this fund of the corpus of the Emma H. Scribner Trust, which is being terminated in accordance with the non-judicial statement agreement with the New Hampshire Division of Charitable Trusts.
I'll make the motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Article 20, no tax impact. To see if the town will authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept, expend, and hold in trust gifts, legacies, and devices for any public purpose without further action by the town pursuant to RSA 31:19. The authority shall continue in effect until rescinded.
I'll make the motion to accept Article 20.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Okay. Article 21, shall we permit the public library to retain all money it receives from its income, generating equipment to be used for general repairs and upgrading, and for the purchasing of books, supplies, and income generating equipment as per NHRSA 202-A:11-a.
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Give it to Andy.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Okay. Article 22. to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $9,760 for Pemmy Baker Community Health.
Make a motion to recommend this article.
Article 22.
Well, it's 23 because
23.
Article 22, I put the petition, John Glidden submitted yesterday his petition warrant article to discontinue Parkway Road.
So that,
You don't have a whether or not we should recommend it on there.
okay, I guess I'm going to have to switch my screen up a little bit.
Okay, the language has changed from the draft that we received.
Okay.
Which one?
Reading this, I wouldn't even, if I was an ordinary person, I wouldn't know what it was being in reference, what it was referencing.
Yeah, the discontinuance of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little long. Yeah, when I wrote it out, it's a little long.
Okay, so Article 22 is a petitioned warrant article
Yes.
that we do not know if it has a tax impact or not
no,
at this time.
True.
To see if the town of Ashland will vote to unconditionally, completely, and absolutely discontinue an unmaintained Class 6 town road known as Parkway, formerly known as Hill Street.
is it a class 6 road?
I didn't think so, Kathleen.
It's
I
a
caught
class
that.
5.
I caught that too. Yeah.
And it says unmaintained. No, it's has evidence of being maintained.
As there's
Is
other.
it 2 lanes? I did
Mhm.
not realize it would fit the parameters of being a 2-lane road. Is that measurement accurate?
I don't know. Like
And I'm confused by the right of way.
Yeah. There's more to it at the bottom. If Eli wanted to, then I'll let Eli finish.
Let me see what, okay. It's also known as the road. Okay. Pursuant to New Hampshire revised statutes annotated 231:43. The road to be discontinued is described as follow: a 2-lane road approximately 228 feet in length, beginning at the intersection of the road with the right of way of Mill Street and ending at the intersection of the road with the right of way of Depot Street.
Mhm.
Upon the discontinuance of the road under the terms of this article, the voters hereby authorize and direct the selectmen to relinquish the town's interest in the land under the road, whether by deed or other recorded instrument, to the abutting property owners, L.W. Packard and Company, Inc. and Commerce Properties, LLC, or their designee.
Okay, my understanding is the abutters own what's under the road. The town would have been granted an easement right away to go over that area. Do we know how this road has been described?
We don't. All I can say.
I don't, what do we do with this? I mean, we
Kathleen,
send it to legal or?
that's it, Kathleen. I was gonna say, as we do in the past, the warrant after, pretty much after this, we'll send it to legal, and I'll highlight that one with Mitchell Group and look for a little bit of an explanation because
Okay,
I mean, I'm confused too. In authorize and direct the selectmen to relinquish the town's interest in the land under the road,
Under the road.
whether by deed or recorded instrument.
okay. As of this moment, ladies and gentlemen,
Mhm.
I am not in favor of recommending this warrant article.
Certainly not till it's been reviewed by legal, and I suggest we just pass on this one for the time being, because I agree with you, Eli.
Or we vote on it as it stands now.
I think we should just wait and get the legal opinion.
I agree.
I'm
Alan?
sorry, I'm forgetting, but did we vote on non-monetary petition warrant articles in the past?
Yeah,
Uh,
if the budget committee doesn't vote on non.
I know the budget
But we
committee
do.
does.
But
We
we do.
do.
We have to be consistent.
On
If we vote on one, we have to
petition,
vote on them all.
I'm sorry, I forgot whether or not we did on petition, because petition, we really don't have any, we don't have any say.
But all the ones following the charities, we are petitioned and we vote on those.
Yeah, the
Yes,
bond.
they do have a tax impact.
I mean, right now, as I said, I don't feel that this is something that I can get.
Yeah.
I would be in favor of
Mhm.
recommending this to the townspeople.
Yeah.
Alan, you had started to say something?
Yes, I did. I would like to take a vote on this as presented.
So you're making a motion?
I will make that motion
To do what?
to vote on this article as presented.
To
As
recommend or not?
that is correct. As submitted, as written.
Are you making a motion to recommend this article?
That's not what I'm saying. I said to vote.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. I'll make a motion to not recommend this article as written and submitted.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
All right. If I'm voting aye, it's not to recommend.
Correct.
Correct, that was the
voting
motion.
aye is to not recommend.
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye.
Okay. I'll still ask legal. I'll still highlight that one for legal because
I think that would be a good idea.
that one's a little confusing. The rest, though, everyone knows we're we're almost done here.
Okay.
A few more petitions that we received. A few of them are scratched out. I just left them there in case we receive them by the 26th. There is one towards the end, which is, I think, Katie told me, which is Communities for Alcohol and Drug Free. They weren't able to get the 25 signatures, and they
Okay.
just had too much concern because of COVID. They didn't want to send folks out there to get the signatures required, so they're taking a pass this year.
Okay.
With that being said, I did all the ones that are in green, starting up at the top with Penny Baker Community Health, which is Article 23 for 9,760. These are ones that we received. Clerk confirmed them, and they're in the folder here if anyone cares to see.
I already made a motion to recommend Article 23.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on to 24. Shall the voters raise and appropriate $6,000 to Grafton County Senior Citizens Council, Inc. for services for Ashland residents in I would think it'd be 2021 and not 2020. I will not,
Oh. Good
You,
catch.
you are correct, Eli. We have it, oh,
it has,
Charlie fixed.
It
Okay.
miraculously changed.
do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend $6,000 to Grafton County Senior Citizens Council.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call. Kathleen DeWolf,
aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Eli Badger says aye. Moving on to 25. Shall the voters raise and appropriate $3,500 to Lakes Region Mental Health Center for the delivery of emergency mental health services? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Alan Silly. Did you vote, Alan?
Yes, I said aye.
Okay. All I got was garbled. Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Eli Badger, aye. So that one's been Article 26. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,000 for the fiscal year 2020-2021 to support Voices Against Violence, a nonprofit crisis center and shelter providing emergency shelter, court and hospital accompaniment and general support to women, men, and children who are the victims of domestic and sexual violence and stalking. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 26.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Kathleen DeWolf,
Aye.
Fran Newton,
Aye.
Alan Silly,
Aye.
Andy Fitch,
Aye.
Eli Badger, aye. Moving on. Charlie,
Done.
we're
Done?
done. Is that what you're? Okay,
That's all I have, unless anyone has any other articles they want to add.
not at this time.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad we got this done.
We don't have any, by the way, land use. There's no land use articles this year.
Nope.
There's no zoning, and that's 26 articles. Unless, of course, we get some next week.
Yeah.
There could be some next Tuesday. But so far, so good. I think it's a good warrant. It's pretty straightforward this year, and hopefully things will go relatively smoothly.
Yes, and we need to emphasize the value of these capital reserves and
Mhm.
using money from the unassigned fund to cover some of these expenses instead of through general taxation.
Yep, the chief told me today the PD is very thankful and appreciative of the support that myself and the board has showed in regards to their two articles. The one with the cameras and the technology for the cars, in particular the video cameras. I really hope that one passes. That's an important safety measure for our police officers and the public.
Yes, I've told people that it protects the officers and it protects the public.
Okay, so a couple things that I have to do. I'll post. I guess I'll try to post today in the next before 4 o'clock for Friday's meeting at, I think, what did we say, 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll set up the Zoom and post for that.
Thank you, everybody. That went pretty smooth.
Is there any other business?
Motion to
team.
adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Fran, you're always eager to do that one, aren't you?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.